We cannot continue to treat creativity as just a mere entertainment in Nigeria and expect it to contribute meaningfully to the national GDP. It is beyond just an entertainment. My name is Femi Peters. I'm a creative, a storyteller, an entrepreneur, very passionate about shaping narratives that drives impact in our country, Nigeria, and the world at large. I recently had the privilege of participating in the National Dialogue organized by the Development Research and Project Center, DRPC, a platform that brought together about a lot of young voices, idea, perspective on how we can move Nigeria forward. As a creative working in Nigeria's evolving landscape, my experience has been both inspiring and also challenging, in all honesty. On one hand, there is talent, raw talent, undeniable, world-class talent in Nigeria. On the other hand, there is a gap in structure, recognition, and intentional investment. Too often, creativity in Nigeria is just treated as mere entertainment, and that is the major problem, because we cannot continue to treat creativity as just a mere entertainment in Nigeria and expect it to contribute meaningfully to the national GDP of our country, Nigeria. Creativity is not just vibes, it is not just content, it is an industry itself, an industry with power to create jobs, influence, culture, drive, export, and position Nigeria on the global stage. But for that to happen, it must be treated as an industry with systems, policy, funding, education, and infrastructure that supports its growth. At the National Dialogue we had recently, my contribution centered on this critical shift in mindset. I emphasized that we need to have structural support for creative, access to funding and grants, policies that protect and empower creative work, which is very, very, very important. And most importantly, recognition of creative sector as a key driver of economic development. Because, when creatives are empowered, the truth is the ripple effect is massive. We don't just create content, we create opportunities. We just don't tell stories, we shape narratives in our societies that define a nation. We don't just entertain, we build economies. However, beyond the conversation, there is a need for action. We need to move from dialogue to implementation, from ideas to execution, which is important. My potential to measurable impact, which is all of these things I've mentioned. This is why initiatives like DRPC grants are not just important, they are necessary. They provide creatives with the resource to not only speak but to create work that reflects creativity. My recommendation is very simple. Let us begin to see creative as not just side contributors, but as key stakeholders in Nigeria's economic future. Let us build structures that outlive trends. Let us invest in creativity the same way we invest in other critical sectors. Because the future of Nigeria is not only in oil, tech, or agriculture, it is also in creativity. And that future starts with how we choose to see and support this industry. Thank you very much. See you guys later. Bye.